Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It is a beautiful, beautiful afternoon today out here in Southern California, east of San Diego, up in the mountains. I wish y'all were here right now. Look at this. This is gorgeous. This is the stuff that we live and die for. It is beautiful. Got my little garden here. Everything's nice and green. I'm gonna water it again. Give it a real good watering this morning. As a matter of fact, I want to put like another little tack up here to get this vine to keep going up a little more. It's almost there. But yeah, let's go back to I know they're not the prettiest ones, but it's a thing of life for me. And then I'm really thankful I've been able to give this sunflower plant, enough chance to live, give it enough water. So I wanted to go over some stuff. I'm trying to script myself a little more, and I'm trying to get myself a little bit more calmed down so I can be a little bit more descriptive of the things that I say, how I say them, and what I say. So I wanted to apologize. Yesterday I wanted to do a whole bunch more. There was something I did want to do, which is I wanted to walk around and I wanted to talk to some of the people around my town about this LA Times article. And what I found was that a lot of people are, for whatever reasons, and I respect everyone who I asked this to do, but I asked a handful of people that I usually see in my little small town if they felt comfortable giving an opinion, whether their face is on this channel or not. And for the most part, I think people are a little bit more, they want to be a little more intimate, is what I'll say. Want to be a little more intimate, and that's totally okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and scratch the whole idea of what people in my town think about this garbage LA Times article, and maybe I'll ask you. Please leave something in the comment. Tell me what you think about this garbage that's going on with the LA Times article. So I had some other stuff happen yesterday. I will do another full episode on it in some time, but long story short is I lost a family member yesterday. I lost a family member, and not in a very good way. And there's still more to the story, which I'm waiting to hear more about, but there was a lot of stuff that happened yesterday that I wanted to talk about. Not me personally, but in the country. So I may be a day behind on some of this stuff, but here's a few things I definitely think that people should check out. One of the first things that I'd like for people to check out is that this morning, or yesterday actually, the Supreme Court heard an appeal for the Biden administration to have an emergency stay on their protocol and their policy when it comes to the southern border, actually all of our borders. So a week before, there was a ruling saying, hey, guess what, Biden administration, you must direct the DHS to re-implement the Migrant Protection Protocol policy. The Migrant Protection Protocol is under the Stay in Mexico policy, which is what the former president had put in place, which at another time we can have another discussion about what is right and what is wrong about immigration. There's a lot of wrong with our policy, but I also think that there's a lot of right that people want to see our immigration, have some reform and maybe be updated to the things that apply to us and this generation of migrants that are in this generation of young Americans who 100 years down the road, this is the American turnstile. The migrants that are going to migrate here 100 years from now, they're going to be in charge of this country. So long story short is now the Biden administration is going to have to tell people, hey, guess what? It doesn't matter what type of, whether you're doing immigration or whether you're doing asylum or whether you're doing refugee status. Right now, we are super slammed. Our federal government has a whole bunch of other things we got to deal with, and the number one thing on our list is not just opening up our borders to let whoever in, however they want to get here. So good on America. I'll try to put a link in the description to the actual Supreme Court ruling. But yes, another one of these things that I'm going to say down the road, Hashtag Trump was right about a lot of stuff. I don't care if you hate the guy or not. You know, you don't have to hate the boss that has his filing cabinet all set up and done right. You know, you don't have to like the boss who has his shit in order. And, you know, no matter what, no matter whether you hate the guy or if you loved him or not, you know, there's a lot of these things that are starting to become reality now that, you know what, maybe Orange Man, maybe he's bad, but maybe he's also right on a lot of things. So we can talk about that another time too. Link will be in the description for that one. So let's see, the next thing I got here is that, oh my God, that was so awesome, dude. A kid with a Trans Am just drove by. So great. I love it. I love my little historical highway that I live off of right here. Next thing I was going to tell you all is I can find a link in the description for that. You know, please don't hate me for, you know, putting a link to MSNBC or CNN or Fox News. You know, whoever has some sort of credible source, which I trust that there's a good balance of bias and a good balance of truth. I'll go and put links in the description. I don't care if it's Fox News or CNN. You know, if they're going to report on something and it's mostly true, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But the next thing is, a couple months ago, there was something called the lableak theory. Lableak. We all remember what lableak theory was. And we all remember a year ago when, you know, how dare you talk about a lab leak? Oh, you must be a MAGA right-wing conspiracy theorist for talking about lab leak. Oh, it wasn't grown in a lab. Well, maybe some of that is now in the public forum of legitimate debate. And it's really unfortunate that people like YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, that are these platforms of this type of information being discussed and discoursed and disagreed and argued upon, you know, for almost the past year, they have put a block on it. And I would recommend every single American to educate yourself and, you know, acknowledge the awareness which we all need to give a shit a little bit more about these types of things that are going on in this country, because, you know, there's definitely some questions on how and why last year lab leak theory was not legitimized. And I know, my opinion at least, the way I feel, my opinion is that there were some, you know, it was tainted. There were some things that maybe should have been said, some discussions maybe should have been had last year in light of all of this lab leak theory stuff that were not had because of politics. And it's just really scummy, and it's really bad, and it's really sad that, you know, this whole COVID thing has turned into what it has turned into. I mean, it really has been a very successful weapon to undo and unsew some of the things about America that's really made us great and strong. You know, instead of us struggling through COVID together and maybe having the question, shit, you know, did lab leak theory really, did this really happen? Instead of having those discussions, we're letting our federal government spy on us, you know, coerce us into taking a vaccine that still isn't that old, very new. And you don't have to be a doctor to be concerned about your own private medical health, even if you're wrong. So, yeah, you know, well, I got a little tangent there, so let me get back to my main point. When this discussion started popping up, our president, Biden, maybe a couple months ago, I believe it was, but he had told the American people that he wasn't sure what to believe as far as lab leak theory, but he ordered his intelligence agencies to report back to him within 90 days. Well, word on the street is that that intel report is now going to be released to the Republic here, or released to the Republic, or released to the public. Say that 5 times fast. Released to the public here in the next couple of days. And word on the street on that one is this: is that leadership problem? I'm telling you, man. Word on the street is that once again, tell me if this sounds not or normal, is that our intelligence agencies are neither confirming nor denying the plausibility of lab leak theory. I think every single American needs to go check out what lab leak theory is, the origins of it, and maybe look into some of the emails that were going on between the virologists of the Wuhan lab last year. And there's definitely some coercion. There's definitely a lack of leadership and a lot of cowardice that's going on between the virologists. It definitely seems like there was some cover-up, some we don't want to lose our funding. But for me, I just see a lack of leadership is what it is. So go check that out, everyone. Go check out when this report is going to be released about the lableak theory and what these top intelligence agencies have come back to report to the president and the people. So check that out. All right, well, let's go look at another thing I'm probably behind is, all right. We got that one, we got that one. Okay, so another few things that we can talk about real quick is more the propaganda against Larry Elder. And, the machine is ramping up. The machine is definitely ramping up. And the reality of what's going on here is that the Democrats in the state of California, the political aristocracy, which is strong and deep within the state, they are throwing every single piece of anything that they can at this in a traditional manner because they have nothing left. And they're in a pickle. And with that said, they are going after someone who has been a politician for a month, Larry Elder. And it's disgusting. It is gross to hear the propaganda, to hear people say the really disgusting thing. There he is. There he was. But, it's definitely gross. It's definitely disgusting. And I personally, as a Southern Californian, take quite offense to anyone who thinks that their political interests for their party and for their political party to obtain and hold the political dominance and oppression that they have, when it really is, it's political oppression. Not all because the Democrats are just so amazing. It's also because the GOP in the state lacks leadership too. It does. But, it just really pisses me off. Like, how dare anyone, sit there and say, oh, you know what? A black man from South Central LA that is in a position to be a leader for the state, that's not being celebrated. But what's going on is that they're calling him a white supremacist. They're calling him a far right. This is just, it's so wrong. You're wrong. Far right, dude. He's been a libertarian. And it's just easy for you to fearmonger people and say, oh, he's one of the scary people. He's not really black. It's like, F off. You know what? You're not really black, and you wish you was. All right? Because any type of American knows that these are the types of stories of success which really makes this country great. The stories of success of a black man from South Central LA that went to Crenshaw High School, that guess what? He grew up on them streets. And you know what? He's come up. He's been successful. That is what America is all about, is letting the underdog come up and win. And you know what? He's done all its own. So I want to challenge all my people that are watching this to point it out and call it out, and don't let the normalcy of a black white supremacist. This is just garbage. The LA Times, you're crap. You suck. Seriously, like, if I was Dave Chappelle, I would be considering, charging you for copyright infringement. This is a Clayton Bigsby thing. You're calling the guy Clayton Bigsby, and it's disgusting. So, man, to all my brothers and sisters down here in Southern California, you know what? Power to the people. March on. Let's do this, man. Let's make some change. Let's take this gamble, because what the hell do we have to lose at this point? It would be my dream to be able to see a black man from South Central LA sit in the governor's seat, in 2021. Yeah, it's about time, and for all the Democrats out there, look, man, the times are changing. The times are changing. The fights aren't the same. This Democrat party that y'all want to be, I know that y'all Democrats want this party just to be what it was 30, 40, 50 years ago. And it's sorry, man, it's not going to work no more. This racism thing is just disgusting. It's horrible that you'll pitch people against each other based upon their race. And you know what? I really think that we can do a lot better in this country, especially in 2021. You know what? Last year, Kanye ran for president. So, if you see any type of propaganda, if you see any type of garbage that is trying to promote the idea that this black man really ain't that black, please expose it, because this is 2021, bro. No. You can take that shit down the ramp, okay? So, I'll go and, I won't leave any more links in the description for that one because I left the one yesterday. And the last thing I did want to talk about is there's a former Navy SEAL, and I don't know how to say his last name. I got a tough last name myself, but his name is Jocko. We all know Jocko. Well, I saw a video on him. I'll leave a link in the description for this one. But Jocko actually attempted to step up and provide some sort of leadership and some sort of structure and some sort of strength, while this administration is just bungling and boggling, probably conducting one of the biggest military blunders in world history. And it's bad. We really gave up some pretty choice territory to be able to run operations out of, for not just us, for the rest of the world. So I really like it. I really like seeing our veterans step up and take charge and try to lead and do what they think is right for the country, not for these people, not for that people, not for the sake of F Trump, not for the sake of America, make America great again, or whatever political parties or whatever dick showing contests you guys want to, oh, no, look at me. Oh, I'm so cool. Look at my wiener. Oh, I have a weenus too, just like that. Well, guess what? You know what? It's time. It's time that us veterans, we need to step up in our communities, and we need to help, and we need to take charge of things. That when we see something wrong, we need to do what's right. And for all of our veterans out there, this is what America is going to need out of us. They're going to need us to do the right thing, because it's obvious that the people who have been paid very well and have been taken care of very well have done the wrong things. So check it out. Check out the video. I definitely think it's important. Whether you like the guy or not, because he's a Republican or not, I don't know what he is. But what I see is a veteran with leadership experience trying to step up and take charge in a chaotic situation. And so, yeah. Well, everyone, I'm going to go and let you go for the day. I am going to go ahead and water my yard at the evening now, because it looks like my landlord, it looks like her sprinklers are off and we're on a well. And I will try to give y'all a call in the morning, or not a call, but I will try to do this in the morning after I water my plants. And have a beautiful afternoon in America. Love y'all. Bye.